Howdy folks, welcome back to the shed. I could do with a small marking knife for some carpentry projects, and why not try and make one rather than going and buy one if I've got something that'll do. And generally speaking, that's the kind of shape these things are, or I would like them to be. Sort of single bevel, single piece of steel, Japanese style marking knife. However, the only piece of decent steel I can find in my scrap bin is this motorcycle sprocket, which means that any knife I can get out of it is going to be quite curved because it's got some big holes in it. But I think that'll work. You know, you can hold it in your hand, it's okay. It'd be better than nothing. And I can get 3 of these out of here if I want to try it. Now this is reasonably hard. Not incredibly hard, but you know, it's got some kind of heat treat on it. So I'm wondering if I'm really careful and keep it cool while I'm cutting this out, if I can keep the heat treat as is. But if there's a big problem, I'll just anneal it and heat treat it. But let's get the angle grinder out and see what happens. Having cut all the teeth off, I actually kind of like that pattern along the back edge. I was going to grind all that off, but I'm going to see if I maybe keep it. I mean, I think this lip along the back is probably going to make it a bit heavy, so I'll probably still grind that off. But yeah, I'm going to try and keep that if I can. Obviously I'll take the nasty rags off and maybe turn it over with the file a little bit, but I kind of like that. Now in an ideal world, this next bit would be done on a belt sander, but I don't have one of those, so I'm going to be using the bench grinder as carefully as I can, and I'll do any last fine stuff for making things flat with a piece of carbide paper on a block or something. So let's get into it. Right, after many grindings, I've got something of a flattish bevel on that. So I'm going to carry on with some carbide paper. Right, that's probably close enough. So I'm going to put a secondary bevel on it very carefully and tidy the edge up, and then I guess see if I can sharpen it. Right, so before I do anything else, I'm just going to see if I can put a reasonable edge on it, because at this point I don't know if I've got to re-harden it or whatever. I think this is going to turn out to be a bit too long, but yeah, it's easy to take off rather than try and put on again. Well, it's sharp at the minute, but no, I don't think this is hard enough. Yep. Okay, so yeah, that's taking the edge off it, which is way too quickly. So right, let's see if we can harden it, eh? Not sure I really got that hot enough there. I might have to get the foundry out. Let's have a go with the file. I think it's harder than it was. Soft at the back here, obviously it wasn't very hot, but I'll be alright. I decided I'm going to shorten the handle so that it doesn't hang beneath the blade anymore, so I'm just going to zip this off with the angle grinder and then use the bench grinder to round it off. So I've seen lots of actual knife makers get excellent results with these honing discs, or whatever they're called, made out of MDF with some buffing compound on them. So I thought I'd have a crack at it, but I don't have any MDF in stock. But what I do have is this nice bit of inch Baltic birch plywood. So I'm going to have a crack at knocking it up out of this. Now I don't have a, I don't seem to be able to find my jigsaw, and I've lent my router to a friend, so I'm going to try and true this up in a fairly ghetto fashion. But first, I'm going to mount it on the bench grinder. Now, did I mention this is going to be a bit ghetto? Metal grinding disc. That looks alright to me. Right, let's find out if this honing disc trick works. Remember, if you're doing one of these, it doesn't matter if it's MDF or birch or whatever, you've got to cut with it going away from you and with the knife that way on. Remember, that way on's death, that way on is fine. So, I think this overall is good enough for what I needed it for, but a few notes to self. Firstly, I think rather than using the bench grinder, it would have been faster overall to build a belt sander and then make the knife than it was to try and do this entirely with the bench grinder. And secondly, this curved shape, cute though it is, it's not exactly ideal. I wonder if I might come back to this, take another section out of the cog and try and heat this up in my foundry furnace as a sort of makeshift forge. See if I can't make one that's a bit straighter. But, you know, it'll do the job for now, right? Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm going to go make some spaghetti. Click like and subscribe if you want to see further attempts at making strange knives. And I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye for now.